Good morning, good evening. It is November 15th, and welcome to Worldwide Toastmasters Club. Are we ready and raring to go? I am Sally Reyes, Acting Sergeant at Arms, and please take out your phone and set it to silence so we won't interrupt anyone in their wonderful speeches. Please help me welcome a Toastmaster distinguished, outstanding, innovative creator, Toastmaster General Intuitive and Guardian Angel in creating this creative club. Please help me welcome Cynthia Stott.
Thank you, Sally. And I want to welcome you to Leaders Worldwide, not Worldwide Toastmasters, but Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. Great. Awesome. I want to welcome you to our members and our guests, and we're going to say hello to our guests in just a minute. I'm going to first read the Toastmasters International Mission Statement and International Values. We empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. And our international values are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And the club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And Leaders Worldwide was designed for politicians, business and nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, and others who want to make their message authentic, heartfelt, and ready for the worldwide stage. So can I see if we have, Curtis, can you tell me if we have some guests and name them off for me?
Certainly. Our first guest, we have Lexi Bennett.
Lexi, want to say hi, Lexi, welcome. Lexi.
Hi there. Hi there.
Hi, welcome.
Okay, we also have, we have our guest speaker. Is that Shaurya?
You got it correct. Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wow, Shaurya, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. Toastmaster Dave as well.
Yes, welcome, Dave.
You're muted.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. This is the second time, but the last time my computer malfunctioned, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay today.
Yeah, me too. Great.
Yes. Repeat visitor, Toastmaster Judith.
Hi, Judith. Welcome.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you.
Great.
We also have a guest, Marcel.
Marcel, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Marcel. And you're from Indonesia, right?
Yeah, I'm from Indonesia.
Awesome. Glad you're here. And who's next?
Petra.
Petra. Welcome, Petra. She's going to be our new member soon. Hi, Petra.
And then Shravanthi.
Shravanthi. She's part
Hello,
of our
everyone.
DTM showdown. Yeah. Hi, Shravanthi. Were you coming in from Cleveland? Is that right?
Yep, from Cleveland,
Yeah.
Ohio. Cold Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm complaining about cold, but I'm sure it's a lot colder there.
And then we also have Oscar.
Oscar, welcome, Oscar.
Thank you so much.
And that's
And
all
is that
I'm.
everybody?
Yep, that's all I'm seeing right now.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to our guests and all of our members. We've got a great program tonight. We've got a very special keynote speaker, and we've got 2 DTM speakers in our DTM showdown. At least I hope we do. One of them's missing in action. You know how that goes. But if we don't have that person, then maybe we'll have a little more time for table topics. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our program quality director, one of the trio of leaders in our District 57, and also our charter member, DTM Carolyn Douglas. Please help me welcome Carolyn Douglas. Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. It is so good to be your Toastmaster again. It doesn't happen very often, but it is a wonderful pleasure to be of aid and assistance in this club that I am a charter member of. I am really appreciative of all of the guests that we have, and I am so appreciative of each one of you being open and willing to put your voice into the room, because you joining with us makes this meeting especially special. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started with our meeting? Our theme for today, you've heard already, is DTM Showdown. We have several speakers that are available for us today, but we have a nice program that we intend to follow. And I hope everyone has the agenda so you're able to follow along. If not, please look over into the chat area where the agenda link has been linked, and you will be able to pull up the agenda. Now, I'd like to introduce our general evaluator for this evening, our guest, Dave Cartledge. Dave, will you share the general evaluator's role, as well
Thank
as
you, Madam
introduce your team?
Toastmaster. The general evaluator's role, as I've experienced in the past, is to evaluate the whole meeting, ask for evaluations, the timer's report and the grammarian's report, and also evaluate the evaluators. And I also tell everybody what we've done right and what we maybe can improve upon. And that, I believe, is the role of the general evaluator, and I'll turn control back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Will you introduce your team, the grammarian, as to share their role?
Okay, the team, grammarian, I just have
Well,
Rosie's one.
Okay, I will do it. Rosemary Sweeney
Please.
is serving as the grammarian for today. Rosemary, will you introduce the word of the day as well as give a description of your role?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This evening, I am pleased to be the grammarian, and as grammarian, my role is to pay attention to the good use of English and provide suggestions for improvement. At the end of the meeting, I will give a report on any misuse or great use of the English language. And my second role is to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is astonishing. It is an adjective, and it means extremely surprising or impressive, also amazing. And this evening, we are going to have some astonishing delivery from our distinguished Toastmaster and our guest speaker. Now, each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day at least once. So we are going to hear a number of astonishing. At the end of the meeting, I shall present a report. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Rosemary, for giving that astonishing description of the roles that you will do during this meeting. Now, I would like to call upon our timer for the evening, Kathleen Peel, to give a description of the timer's role.
We will have a keynote speech up to 15 minutes, and this is the timing card for 13 minutes, 14 minutes, and 15 minutes. Then there will be a 5-minute Q&A, and our prepared speeches are 5 to 7 and 4 to 6 minutes. And so you'll see the timing cards show up, the green for the minimum, the red for the maximum. The table topics are 1 to 2 minutes and the evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes. And I will just report on whether if a speaker spoke far outside of the range, the expected range. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to everyone our guest keynote speaker for today. Our guest speaker is Shaurya Manjal. She is a passionate and creative person at heart. She is a business school graduate who has always wanted to be an entrepreneur, an orator, actor, blogger, educator, business mentor. And you know what? The list goes on and on and on, but this is long enough for tonight. Out of all of the things that she wanted to become, she has ticked off quite a few. She runs 2 businesses of her own, The Brand Narrative and 2 Hazy Circles. She is world's first perception blogger with her blog on Instagram by the name Peeling the Onion. Today, I would like to introduce to you this guest speaker with the speech title, The Role of Perception in Business, Shaurya Manjal. The Role of Perception in Business, Shaurya Manjal. Shaurya.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. That was really sweet. Thank you very much. And I am super duper excited to be here right now. It's early morning for me here in India, so I think it's late evening for you guys. And I'm so glad that I could join all of you today. So thank you so much for having me. And there are a few things that I'll be talking about today. And because I have 15 minutes, what I'm going to do is I will not introduce myself in the beginning. I keep dropping some fun facts about me in between somewhere, right? But I would want to talk more about the topic so that we can make this, packed and jammed with a lot of knowledge about the topic. Perceptions. Well, I think it's my favorite topic in this whole wide world because perceptions is something that's super tricky. And I like when things are tricky and then you need to be on the top of it to be able to understand it first and then to be able to apply it to businesses. So when I started with my career as a brand strategist, I still am a brand strategist. I run a company called The Brand Narrative, and I think branding is something that wakes me up every morning, except I have a Toastmasters meeting. Otherwise, I usually get up for branding. So, this whole concept of perceptions is something what I started working on when I thought I wanted to become a brand strategist. And that is because you see, when a business wants to put across a message in terms of marketing, in terms of forming a brand, in terms of making a message that it wants to send, what you perceive as the message might not be the message that the customer would perceive. There would be some kind of parity between the two. And it is astonishing that a lot of businesses do not pay attention to it. Right? They do not consider it to be important. And so when I was creating a lot of campaigns for brands, I asked them, I was like, what is the perception that you want your customers to have? What do you want them to perceive when you put out this advertisement? And a lot of time they had no answers because they didn't understand the question, right? As and when I started to, dig deeper, and then I went for an MBA in innovation and entrepreneurship, I realized that perception started way before marketing comes in. right? So when we are thinking of a company, when we're thinking of an idea, you have that idea in your head, but what about things associated with it? For example, if you want to start something of your own, you have a startup idea, right? And you feel that the problem that you're trying to solve is huge enough to make a business out of it. Plus, you think it'll make your customers' lives easier. But what if I am quite happy and content with the way things are working for me right now, and I don't need your solution? But in your head, you're assuming that this is something that is going to like really solve your customers' problems. So you start creating that product and or service, and then you ultimately later realize that you perceived the problem wrong. You perceive the quantity of the problem also wrong, because it's probably not that big a problem, and you might not be able to turn it into a profitable business, right? So there was a time, I remember in my MBA class, I was trying to pitch an idea, and I said, it's great to earn money because I know this problem exists, but I'm not passionate enough about the idea, and so I don't want to take it forward. And my professor said, can you just show me a raise of hands in the class where people feel like this is a big problem as well, and they would want a solution to it? And there were only 2 people out of 60 who raised their hand, and I realized what I was doing, in my head. I perceived the problem wrong in itself. So it starts way beyond that. What we can do in order to be mindful of what we are doing and the problem that we're perceiving is never keep yourself as a customer. You're not the customer. Make sure that you don't consider yourself to be one. Let yourself be a product creator or a service creator, and let your customers do their job. And so those surveys that people talk about, those closed group discussions that people talk about, these become crucial, and they have to be extremely unbiased without your emotions stepping into the business. Because according to you, this is $1 billion idea. So if your emotions come in between, you would not be able to look at it in a judicious way, and then you won't be able to give an unbiased opinion towards it. And it's okay to have an idea that you thought was great, but the audience is not yet ready for it. The client is not yet ready for it. You can also do one thing, or I would say one more thing, is that understand whether your customers really do not need it, or are they not ready for it. There's a difference. That means there is a need, but you're going to take more time and effort to make them adapt to that product or service, right? So with that, I come to the second part of it, which is usage and marketing. So when I perceive a product or a service, I imagine a flow in which my customers would be using that product or service. But how clearly that message comes out is a very important point, right? So sometimes what happens is, I'll give you an example. How many of you think that you know how to use your iPhones 100%? You know all the features, everything. Do you think so? Do you think you know everything about your iPhone? Yeah. So when a new feature is added to an iPhone, the person adding the new feature has his or her sentiments attached to it, and would think, what, when a person is going to click a picture, they would also want to add this filter, they would also want to do this and that, but do they want to, or do they know about it? Right? So few features just stay in the back end, and according to the person who added them, it was the best idea that would change the way people click pictures on an iPhone. Right? And so once they remove those features, also does not matter. You don't even know they existed. So you cannot perceive it to be the best idea ever, because you have not tested it, or you have not conveyed the usage of that product service enough for them to perceive it in a manner that they think that this could be life-changing for me. This could be something different for me, right? So usage a lot of times is not conveyed. After that comes marketing, which is again so deceptive sometimes. Have you come across an advertisement where you were like, what are they really trying to promote? You know, till the end of the advertisement, you were just trying to figure out what are they trying to promote, right? And imagine the person who created that advertisement. Do you think they would feel the same? They would be like, oh my God, it's so clear. This is what we're promoting, you know? So sometimes you do not even realize that there is a difference, or could be a difference in perception between how you create something and how people take it, right? We do not understand it in our personal lives. Imagine creating something that is going to go out to thousands and millions of people. Yeah, can sound scary sometimes. That's why I love it. Because once you create an advertisement or anything, even a small blog post or an artwork that goes up on, you know, my client's say Instagram page, what I need to do is understand how the customer is going to perceive it. So every time I put something up, I have a bunch of people and I divide them, you know, I divide into people I would send technical stuff to, people who understand cultural stuff, you know, I just divide my audience into that. And these are my friends and family, and I would just send them that post because they would be of different age groups and, you know, different, coming from different backgrounds, and just drop them a message asking, what do you think is being advertised here? What do you think in 2 seconds? What do you perceive out of it? So I know that I've been able to achieve my target. And before I create that advertisement, I have very clear in my head and also in my agenda that this is what I want people to perceive. And so I make the advertisement accordingly. This is one aspect that people usually don't consider. They look at how aesthetically pleasing it is, which is great. But if it's aesthetically pleasing and your audience does not understand what it's about, or they're not able to, in 2 seconds, understand that this is something that I need, you've lost a customer. Yeah? How much time do we give to brands to promote and sell something to ourselves? We hardly give them any time. If they're not smart, you would just scroll through the advertisement and you'll be like, yeah, whatever. Just another advertisement. All right, after that, very important, very important is employees. So what we've noticed, and I'm coming back to the company, is because we understand customers a little better now, but a lot of businesses also fail because there's a difference between how you perceive your company and where you want to take it and what are the agendas, you know, behind the success and everything. And those parameters might not be conveyed to your employees who are actually doing work. Do you understand that you could be in the administration, right? And there could be another layer of managers and, you know, and team heads and everything, and then they would pass down the information to the you know, ones who are actually going to do work, to the executives as well. Now imagine I thought of an idea and then the Chinese whisper happened, and how I perceived the idea was totally different by how the person who's ultimately going to do it perceived it. And you know, everything just went down the drain. So having tools, say, you know, an enterprise management system, for an example, right? How do you manage your information and not let the Chinese whisper happen and the information get lost? You must be able to create a North Star metric. Do you understand North Star metric? It's something that we're all looking at, something that we all need ultimately, right? In case of, say, Uber, what do you think could be the North Star metric for Uber? Anybody? Can you randomly guess what is their ultimate goal? What do they want to achieve?
Reliable, safe rides.
As a business, they want to achieve more rides, more number of rides, right? So if I am, say, sitting at the back end and I'm at the call center, right? If I'm at the call center, am I giving them more number of rights? Am I able to give them more number of rights? Maybe not. But my indirect goal is that you actually satisfy customers enough that they take rides more often. So my ultimate goal, the North Star metric, is the same for everyone, and I know what I need to do to get there. So every department knows where you need to get, and you can create project-wise North Star metrics. You can create, a quarter-wise North Star metric so that your team is at the same page. But there's no difference in perception and how you look at things and how they look at things, right? All right, I think I've been able to cover a few things in whatever little time I had. Also, would love to talk more about perceptions, how you can control them, what are the frameworks. I do a detailed course on it. So if anybody is interested to be able to, find what target audience to pick, what are the stakeholders, how to get in touch with them, how to make sure there's no difference in how you perceive things and how your customers or employees perceive it. We can talk in detail later, anytime that you guys want. I'm there on Instagram by the name Shaurya Manjal or Peeling the Onion. You can find me there, and also on LinkedIn, so we can connect wherever you wish, and I'd be happy to talk more about it. Thank you. Did I finish in time?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Not astonishing for me at all. I always finish on time.
Well, thank you so much, Shaurya. And what we love to do after our keynote speaker delivers such award-winning messages is to avail ourselves to you with questions and answers. So I want to call on Cynthia, our president, to facilitate and moderate the Q&A session. Cynthia.
Great. Let's give one more big round of applause. Woohoo!
Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are very kind. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Put your questions and answers in the chat and I will read them out. I don't think we have any yet. Let me just double check. Not yet. Well, I kept thinking about Post-it notes. Do you know Post-it notes and the story of how they got created?
Yes,
they were an accident.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
were actually a big accident. They were supposed to be airplane glue. And imagine an airplane made of Post-it note glue. It would be really disastrous. And it was an engineer that looked at it and said, I wonder how I could use this glue. And he sang in a church choir, and they have very thin papers. And so he wanted to mark his timing, where he came in on the choir pieces. And so it worked for him. And that's how it started. But it didn't work right away.
It didn't.
They tried to sell it to executives, and executives had no use for it. But their secretaries, their executive assistants out in the hallway, they ate it up like it was candy.
Yeah.
And the reason we have Post-it notes is because of executive assistants needing those Post-it notes. And lately I've been thinking about Post-it notes and wondering if they're going to go the way of the dinosaur because of COVID. We almost have very little paper these days, and I hope Post-it notes don't go away because I really love them. I like the multicolors and the little stars and hearts. That's great. Okay, so Rosalind asks, do you pay your family a part of the wages for completing your survey?
Well, that's a very good question, but most of the times what I try to do is I don't pay them. Honestly, I don't take a full survey from them. I never do that, because if I am taking a full-time survey and trying to understand from them and take a lot of information that's going to give me more business, I do pay people. That is my thumb rule for sure. But so these are literally very close friends and family, where I've been able to talk to them, and I've been able to convince them to help me out, and a lot of times I return the favor in kind, so that I could help them back. And I do make a lot of videos actually for my friends and family, and in return I ask them for these advices that I do, because right now anything that you want to sell, it sells on videos, and they're not very tech savvy, so I always create videos for them. That's what I do in return usually. I can't hear you, Cynthia. You are on mute.
I didn't unmute myself before I went to the chat. Okay. We have a lot of questions in here.
Yeah.
The next one is, what would you say is an appropriate North Star metric for a STEAM, STEAM learning center? So I believe STEAM is the science, technology,
Yeah.
and arts and math. I think that
Right.
includes
True.
arts.
Right. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. So the question, if I've understood it correctly, is what is going to be your North Star metric for learning centers? So you need more. See, it's very simple. Ultimate goal is to get more students and to get more satisfied students to take your services again and again, right? So if I am, say, in grade, I'm just assuming that you're providing services to, say, for someone who's in grade 4, right? And you also provide coaching or learning opportunities to ones in grade 5 and grade 6. So you want them to come back. So your retainability and new, new students become your North Star metric, right? And you could also divide it into smaller segments, smaller North Star metrics under it. Say, for example, in 1 quarter, you want more people to score well. That could be your North Star metric, right? That in this quarter, we want students to score higher. We want their grades to go up, right? So under 1 North Star metric, you could have a few. And that usually we talk about one metric that matters. That's what it's called. That one metric that matters in the moment. So you could make, like, under the North Star metric, one metric that matters in that moment.
Awesome. And Rosalind, that question was from Dr. Nadine about STEAM. Rosalind also says, love your enthusiasm. You did an excellent job of breaking down the complex ideas to simple ideas. Have you ever applied your information to companies that are undergoing downsizing?
Yes, I have. I call myself a growth hacker for a reason. I've also helped companies that already had buyers ready for them, and they had a few months to show progress, or they would have to, sell their companies. So I've also helped those companies revive. And I have those case studies that I can kind of share, so absolutely. And, when it comes to growth hacking, I can do a full session on it, and it's really interesting. And we can talk about various steps of it. But yes, I have. Downsizing also to an extent that we're going to get extinct. So yeah.
Great. And Leo wants your Instagram. Could you put your Instagram in there, please?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
And Kathleen, we have 2 more questions, and I'll just say them and see if you can answer them quickly. Nadine says, also, what did you say was the reason persons will scroll past advertisements? That's one question. And then Rosalind said, I had a friend who tested his social media post through friends, and it sounded similar. Okay, so those 2 questions. And how are we on time?
Yes, for 1 minute.
I'll take a minute and complete all of these. Okay, cool. The thing that I was saying that would scroll down your advertisement, I was saying that if it's not, if you're not able to understand what it's trying to sell, right, in like 2 to 3 seconds, because that's usually the span of attention we have these days, especially when we're scrolling through Instagram, they would not stop to see what you're talking about. Even if it has bright colors and looks very attractive, they would still not stop for it. So it has to be so clear in your approach, especially on social media, and things that pass by. So for example, you need to put up a banner on a highway. You need to put out a hoarding. That has to be very simplistic, because I don't have the time to read all the specifications. I just want to see what you're selling, and it might have an impact on me, right? So we need to be very careful when we're trying to set those up, right? So that perception has to be created in 2 seconds. The second question was, I had a friend who tested social media post through, and it sounded similar. I don't get the question. Sorry.
The messaging.
It was just
the perception and the message were together.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So
And then make sure to add your Instagram.
I will do that after my time is up. I'll do
Okay.
that for sure. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I
So
think our time is up.
just one second, and before I end, I just want to say, but please make sure that your target audience is similar to your friends and family. That's what I said in the beginning. I do divide them because I need to be confident that these are the people I'm trying to sell it to, right? So for example, my target audience is that of kids of 13 to 15 years of age, and I'm trying to get it verified from a mother. Not going to work, she won't get it. So just make sure that they're similar to your target audience. At least they fall into that bracket somewhere. So just wanted to say that. Cool.
Great. This has been awesome information.
Thank
Lots
you.
of food for thought. We thank you so much. Another big round of applause. Woohoo!
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone. Really, really means a lot to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaurya.
Hooray.
Thank you, Shaurya. It is really wonderful to have someone of your caliber to explain these concepts in such a simple way that we get it. Thank you. Now, everyone, it's time for us to take a break. So we have a 5-minute break. Timer, will you set your timer for 5 minutes?
Thank you. And then do we have?
Welcome back. We've just experienced a wonderful keynote speech. Now it's time to listen to another amazing speaker for the evening. But before I do, Kathleen, I'd love for you to come back and share the timing for our first speaker here.
Our wonderfully accomplished speaker is going to give us an icebreaker. She is in
the timing.
Oh, and so that's 4 to 6 minutes.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite her evaluator, Seema Giri, to give the objectives, the project title, and for our speaker's speech. Seema.
Yes, thank you, Carolyn. So the path is team collaboration, and it's level 1. And the objective of this speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech.
Thank you so much. Our speaker this evening is Shravanti Valampati. She is a 3-time DTM. She's an incurable optimist who revels in all things Toastmasters and believes in its infinite potential to change us and our perspectives of the world around us for the better. She's been a Toastmaster for over 8 years and is currently a resident in Cleveland, Ohio. She belongs to 2 corporate clubs as well as 4 community clubs in districts 10 and 98. She has completed 6 paths in pathways and is now starting on her 7th path, which has been identified as team collaboration. I would like to introduce to you Shravanti Valampati, speaking on Ubuntu.
15,260 days ago, my best friend was born. As you will imagine, she did not know the term team existed. She didn't even realize there was such a thing as Ubuntu. Fast forward to 3,209 days before today. Guess what happened? She joined Toastmasters. Not only is she my best friend because she's a Toastmaster, she's also my best friend because she is my shadow. She introduced me to the concept of Ubuntu in full glory. Now you must wonder, How did she even come about to understand this concept, my friends? Does anyone know what Ubuntu means? You see, 15,260 days ago, this girl was born and she was all over the place. People would come tell her stories. She would sit on the playground. She would listen to them. She would talk to them for hours on end. She would miss classes. She would grow up to be in college, and she would still carry that love of people with her. And she influenced me because, like I said, she was my best friend, my shadow. Now, the reason I mentioned 3,209 days was because it was February 1st, 2013. It was her first icebreaker speech. She talked about gardening. And she repeated that speech about 4 times, talking about gardening version 1, take 2, take 3, and version 4. She kept doing some things like that. This past month, when she started, not this past month, this past year, when she started her other path, persuasive influence, she started off her icebreaker something like this, just like the one I am doing, which brings me back to Ubuntu. She joined 6 clubs. You're looking at her because she believes that it is this collective humanity that she discovered 3,209 days ago that really brought Ubuntu out of her. Desmond Tutu, Sir Desmond Tutu says, anyone who said you have Ubuntu would mean that someone gave her a compliment. This is not to consider a compliment. This is humbling when someone says, I see it in you. I was reminded of it by my manager not last week, just 7 days ago, when he said this. And I said, why not fashion my icebreaker around it? So now you must be really curious to know what the word Ubuntu means. Ubuntu loosely translates to, I am are. It dips into, bundles itself in, and takes out the oneness that comes from being part of humanity, this big sea of humanity, which brings to the loose definition I just shared with you. I am because you are. And to me, my friends, there is no better sea of humanity that is more supportive, that is more one, that is more empowering, and that is more uplifting than Toastmasters. I wouldn't be a minuscule of the person that I am today if it was not for Toastmasters that I discovered 3,209 days ago. Now let me take you back just 613 days before today. I was just sharing with Rosalind here that I was weaned on data and analytics. But you see, numbers only tell half the story. And the reason I'm bringing numbers in, because when you look at the timeline of someone's life, you see how they have evolved. I take you back to 613 days before today. Can you guess what that day was? It is that fateful Thursday, March 12th, when the pandemic hit. I remember sinking into that chair and I'm saying, what am I going to do? And to top it all, guess what? I was district director, my friends. I was district director. I needed to take my district. So guess what I did? I dipped into that oneness of humanity. The thing that people said I am good at doing, that's exactly what I did. I had to bring my district out of the physical world into a virtual world. Countless, not 1, not 2, not 20, not 200, countless talented volunteers, spirited Toastmasters, my own family, families around Cleveland came together to say, we got this. And the reason I mention this is not so much to brag about accomplishments, but to let you in on the power of team, on the power of Ubuntu. After all of that, we fed 15th in the world, 15th in the world at the end of June 30th, 2020, in bringing clubs back online. We brought 85% of our clubs online before the year ended, from March 13th or March 12th to June 30th. I say this is because of the power of the team. So if you are ever faced with, can I do this? I don't know if I can. I want you to look deep into Ubuntu, the oneness that brings you closer to humanity and that lets you, that empowers you, dip into it, draw from it, and enjoy what it is that you can accomplish. So my friends, as my icebreaker for team collaboration, I wanted to choose this to share this concept with you. If you have ever doubted of your own potential, please know that the whole of humanity is behind you. Ubuntu, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you dip into the oneness of humanity. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Let's have 1 minute of silence, please. That was 1 quick minute. Thank you so much. That was an amazing, amazing speech and very, very heart-rending. Now I would like for our timer as well as our table topics master to come to the forefront. I want to turn the podium over to Rosalind Khan to lead us in table topics. Rosalind.
You know, I'm coming.
You're muted, Ms. Rosalind.
Muted. I have to make my grand entrance. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Thank you so much. I always have fun at that. Okay, so today I'm going to take you on a fun voyage for my table topics. For those of you who don't know what table topics it is, not the death chair. It's not the end of your life. It's the beginning of a new opportunity. No, humor aside. Table topics is an opportunity to allow everyone in our group to have a chance to speak on their feet. It's allow them to give them a chance to say a few words. And can we have our timers report so they know how long they have to give us this talk?
This is 1 to 2 minutes for each topic.
Now, is there anyone who thinks that they have a reason to be excused because there are no excuses? All right, seeing as there is none, let me go ahead and look at all the players that I can go ahead and choose to go ahead and call on. Tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take my table topics from a very unique topic. I'm really excited that I'm going to be part of an international book that is called, let me get the title. It's Everything You Should Have Learned in School, But You Didn't Learn. It's coming out of India. And these are things that you should have learned in school, but you didn't. And so I'm going to give you these topics. And I want you to go ahead and tell me what it is you think is important in life that we didn't learn in school. So I'm going to pick my first person. David Lozano, would you like to go ahead and participate? David Lozano?
Sure.
All right. Your topic is, what did you not learn in school about reflection?
Okay, so what I didn't learn about school about regarding reflection is very astonishing because most of us, we think we go to school to learn some valuable information, yet when we come out of school, we feel like we didn't learn the most valuable skills of life because we just memorized a lot of information, which is important, but over the years, the information gets obscured and we need to stay up to date to the new information and resources for careers or jobs. And I feel since every day technology is innovating, we need to be able to not just memorize certain words, but we need to reflect upon our lives and see what we could improve upon, because chances are if we don't improve our past, our future is going to be exactly the same as the past years. This is why reflection is very important. And most people, they lack or they don't even utilize this important resource that reflection has, not just in your life, but maybe challenges or problems you may have. Just taking time out of your day and journaling and writing it down pours out your reflection of your day, and then how you can invest it or learn from your past and invest it into the future. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Wow, that was impressive. I'm now hiring you to go out in the schools, and you're going to be a guest speaker and tell people why they need to learn reflection in their life. That is beautiful. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Okay, so our next topic here is going to go to Leo. Leo, would you like to answer a question here?
Rock and roll, let's go.
Okay. Your question is, what did you not learn in school about conflict management? Conflict management is your subject.
Madam Table Topics Master, thank you very much for that. What I did not learn in school is what I did learn in school. What I did learn in school is that boys and girls tend to dance on opposite sides of the dance floor. I learned that the teachers seem to take a position of high advantage point when watching us. And so for that, what I learned is when dealing in conflict management, we really only learn how to communicate with ourselves. And in communicating with yourself is generally where I found that we get to iron out some of our most challenging conversations. The conversations that we wanted to have with the bully, the conversations that we wanted to have with mom or dad, the conversations that we wanted to have with our coach and loved ones. Challenging conversations. That's what I believe didn't get taught to us in school, but inadvertently we all learned because we had to learn how to deal with ourselves. And in that, there's an extreme reflection. And only if you're able to see your reflection will you be able to communicate accurately with the people you love and admire around you. Madam Table Talks Master, I believe that those intangible skills of learning about how to communicate beyond borders of gender, sex, color, race, that's what we didn't learn in school. And it's what we had to go inside for. And hopefully from going inside, it allows us to come back out. Madam Table Topics Master.
Well, thank you so much. That was truly beautiful. I greatly appreciated that lesson there. And it takes me back, remembering those days, being on the outside of the circle. No one picked me. Why isn't it my turn? And so on and so forth. Okay, here we go. Santi, would you like to answer a question? Jiri Santi, would you like to answer a question? Going one more time. Jiri Santi, would you like to answer a question? Okay. Next up, let's go for Tiffany. Tiffany, would you like to answer a question? Tiffany Ellis?
Good night. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Your question I'd like to ask you is what didn't you learn in school about the can-do attitude?
Thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics. What did I learn in school about the can-do?
Can-do attitude.
Can-do attitude.
Mhm.
That is a good one. What I learned in school is that you are able to do anything you put your mind to do. Once you have the right attitude, mind you, the negative attitude will not take you anywhere in life. Once you have that positive attitude, you can do and go anywhere. You can, especially for females, because growing up, you have this thing, oh, females can't do this, females can't do that. But we have shown the world that we can. Once you have that mindset, you can do it. I am Toastmaster Tiffany. Thank you for that question.
Oh, you're most welcome. And thank you for enlightening us with that wonderful, wonderful question here. I just had the other screen on so I could see the names. There was, we have time for a few more. How many more can we do? 3 more. Okay, great. So I'm going to go back here and Judith, would you like a question?
Yes, I will try.
Oh, you won't try. You'll do it, man. Do it, do it, do it. Your question is on mental health. What did we not learn in the schools? What did you not learn in the schools about mental health?
Madam Table Topic Master, I learned nothing about mental health. I actually had a difficult time in school, especially when I was in my early teens. And the reason I have discovered reflection is because I needed to deal with mental health, because it is tough to be in school and be a teenager when people bully you left and right about this, the other thing. They always find something that they can pick on you somehow. I had really a difficult time there. I didn't know anything about mental health, but I certainly learned one thing in school is how to deal with my own mental health. And I have been very lucky to wanting to read about psychology, a little bit of philosophy, understanding who I was, who I want to be. And that is the way I dealt with mental health, because I don't think that school are teaching mental health, except when you go home and your mother said, oh, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? And you didn't do this. And I thought, talking about mental health, it's a tough time. It takes a long time to develop what it is, your mental health or health in that whole mental era. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. What a good question.
Thank you so very, very much. Next, my good friend Petra. Petra is dying to have a question asked to her. So Petra, I want to know what you didn't learn in school about decision making. What you didn't learn in school about decision making.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master, and all my friends over there. What I didn't learn in school about decision making. Okay, let me think to make a decision. No, I'm joking. Actually, in my side of the story, is astonishing
how we didn't learn about decision making in most countries in Asia, because we were lectured, we were given books to read, and we have to answer questions in examination exactly what we can memorize from the lecture and from the books. And we had no idea what kind of logic, what kind of thoughts we can add into decision making. So that's why I said I agree with the statement. This is what I don't know how large we are, but especially in most countries in Asia, especially at the lower education, even up until bachelor degree, we were not encouraged to think, to reflect, to give it supporting ideas, effective critical thinking, to add into decision making. So I would oppose to all the tests, the examination that include memorizing, but I would encourage books allowed in the examination room for us to digest information we can gather and then make a decision on how to approach to answer all the exams quizzes. And that is decision making. It has to start from the freedom of being able to expose to information and ideas so that we can learn decision making. Ladies and gentlemen, my idea is to have freedom, to let the student have freedom of thought, of decision making early in school. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you so very much. It's always interesting when we get to go around the world and hear what different people learned in their schools and what didn't learn in their schools. And every time I listen to Petra, I know I'm going to learn something interesting. And thank you so very much. Gratitude beyond words. Okay, our next question. Let me find this space here. Let me find this space. I know who I want to call on this one. And it is, where is he? David Cartledge. You are the person I'm going to ask this question. I want to know what you didn't learn in school about finances.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters. What an interesting question. What I didn't learn about financing. Well, the question in reverse is what I did learn about financing. Nothing. School doesn't tend to talk about financing. They talk about other things. But real good financing, your pocketbook, what you're supposed to be looking at in your bank book and things like that, they really didn't talk about. That wasn't part of a school curriculum. Instead, they talked about this is how you type. This is how you learn mathematics. This is how you learn English and read this book. But we really didn't learn about financing. It's too bad because I think that's a really important part of growing up. How to spend your money wisely. How to budget. Those are kind of things that we should have learned when we're teenagers in elementary, many different times over, just because as we grow, our budget changes, our finances changes, our family changes. And so the more talk about financing would have been very, very helpful. But they chose not to talk about that. They chose to talk about lots of other fun things, which they thought for sure that we were interested in. So I'm looking forward to perhaps curriculums changing, where financing is talked about lots, and therefore our children today will come out telling us what to do with our financing, instead of us guiding them on what they maybe should think about. Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you very, very much. Okay. It looks like we've got time for a few more. So Aid Mendivel, would you like to answer a question? Aid Mendivel?
I think we better move on. Wasn't that 6?
I don't know. Well, anyhow, let me just go ahead and give you a quick wrap here.
We actually have until 20 minutes after.
Correct. So 5 minutes more.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we'll ask
Oscar?
one more.
Okay, Oscar, would you like to answer a question? Oscar Cruz? Oscar Cruz? Sarah, would you like to answer a question, Sarah?
Excuse me, am I there? What was the question, please?
Oh, sure. The question for you is, I want to know what school did not teach you about digital. What did school not teach you about digital?
Digital?
Yeah.
Oh, because I studied many years ago. It wasn't a thing that in my time studying they were teaching. Maybe nowadays they are teaching the digital computer or something new. Actually, I don't know exactly, but they don't teach us many things.
Good. Thank you so very much for your contribution. Your English was absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate your efforts. So let me just give you a quick review here. These topics are all part of a book that's going to be published in India, and it's going to go to poor, impoverished children to encourage them about things that they didn't learn in the school. And when the book comes out, I'll let you guys know, because I think it's a wonderful idea, and hopefully you enjoyed the journey. And just one last thing, I was invited to speak on a platform about the changing platform of education. So maybe I can include some of your ideas and how would I see the future of education. So thanks for helping me out. I'm going to return control to our Madam Toastmaster, and she's going to let us know, call for the timers report to see how we did. Thank you so much. Carolyn?
Thank you so much for those beautiful table topics. And it was very interesting to hear what everyone had to say. Yes, I will call on Kathleen. Kathleen, please give us the timing for each one of our impromptu speakers, please.
Each one of the impromptu speakers, I just noticed that everyone fit the parameters, and everyone actually fit the parameters, and Sravanti was 14 seconds over. And worth so many more seconds. That was such a beautiful speech.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. So this ends the speaking portion of our meeting, and it is now time for us to allow ourselves to be involved with the evaluative portion of the meeting. Our general evaluator for the evening, once again, is Dave Cartledge. Dave, I call upon you now to lead your team in the evaluation portion of the meeting. Dave.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. This is an awesome opportunity, which I haven't had the pleasure of doing before, so I'm going to struggle with what I can do. According to the agenda, I'm looking at the first evaluator. No, second evaluator.
Yes.
Is Seema. And she was evaluating Savanti.
Yes.
I'll ask for your comments, please.
Yes, hi, thank you. So I'm going to be looking off to the side a little bit to look at my notes. And fellow Toastmasters, especially Shivanti, it was an amazing speech. It was just, you got all fives on clarity, on engagement, on inspiration, on eye contact, on audience awareness, the comfort level and interest. I mean, that just was like top all across. I really loved how you started off your speech. It was very catching. It was, using number of days as a timeline got me thinking, okay, what is that? How many years ago is that? So it really kept me engaged. It was very creative and out of the box. It kept us intrigued and kept us waiting on the edge to know more about what is she going to say and what is it going to mean. I mean, I almost went to the internet to type in what does it mean. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait until she tells me what it is. It was beautiful. I love the meaning of it, where, I am because you are. And that is so true, right? That is, we are because of other people. Not, we need a team to help us get to where we are. So I think that was great. The intent was delivered. I loved how you asked questions throughout I loved how you did your voice modulations and your pauses. It was amazing. So it's really, really clear that, of course, 3 times ETM, you know what you are doing. And that was just a pleasure to hear you. So what I felt as a stretch goal, what you may want to work on to, especially since we're in this virtual environment, is to perhaps engage the virtual audience a little bit more. You ask the right questions, but perhaps maybe say, type in your answers in the chat. Let me hear, what you're saying, what your thoughts are on that, or answer the question in the chat. And to challenge yourself a little bit more as a stretch goal, maybe stand up and use that virtual stage, that little box that we have. I felt your hand gestures and, the way you kept us engaged throughout was very well done, but maybe next time stand up a little bit and use that virtual stage. Other than that, I thought it was an amazing speech, very apt. I loved, how you use the shadow. I was wondering, okay, who is that best friend? And it turned out to be you. So I love that the drama and the intrigue and everything in 4 to 6 minutes. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Seema.
Thank you, Seema. Very intriguing evaluation. Just trying to read what the screen says. Here, I believe that's the only evaluation we have tonight. Then I think I'm supposed to call on the timers report at this point in time.
Everyone was very tidy, very succinct in their communications, except for 14 seconds over for Sravanti, who delivered such a beautiful speech. I wanted more. And that is my timers report.
Can we get the timing for other people as well on the agenda?
I didn't write them down. I just, as I said at the beginning, I would only mention when people went outside of the speech parameters.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. Very interesting report. Then I'll ask for the grammarian's report at this point in time.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. This evening, my job was made very simple. The word of the day was used 4 times. Rosalind used it once. Our keynote speaker used it twice. And Petra, our astonishing storyteller, used it once. I had very good use of English. And what I took away from our keynote speaker is never keep yourself as a customer. I will always remember that in my perception. Our first speaker gave us a word, Ubuntu. I am because you are. And I love to hear the way she pronounced it. She told us to top it all. I also heard alliteration in her presentation. Deep into it and draw from it. I love the string of questions of our table topic master, not realizing it was a project for the future. What did you not learn? Overall, our presenters made a good use of English, and I encourage us to continue on that path. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that great grammarian's report. I really appreciate an extended report like that and rewording, telling us that everybody missed the word of the day, astonishing, except for 4 people. But that's okay. We'll learn more in the future at other meetings. Now, I believe at this point in time, I'm supposed to make some comments on the meeting, and I really must appreciate the fact that I'm here for the first time with my computer not malfunctioning, so that's good. A few of the presentations tonight, there was a few glitches where the video stopped, but we caught up to that later, and the messages and all the speeches tonight were great. I was suspicious, actually, when I heard the questions on table topics that somebody was writing a new book, just because she was emphasizing her own book in the background. So I was kind of wondering, these sound like topics for a new book. And sure enough, that's what seems to be what it's going to be. So I look forward to that book in the future. I really did like our one speaker tonight, Savanti. I really, the words she used in her speech presentation related to. She had, as our evaluator, Seema said, she had great pausing, great voice modulation. I liked her pacing of her speech. When she mentioned, I see it in you, I remember that was actually an international speech title of one of the speakers at one of the internationals I was attended. So I really appreciate that. And the fact that you related your topic of your speech, meaning I am because you are, I think that's really emphatic. And I think that, as our grammarian mentioned today, she's going to take that with her. And I think most of us will, just because really emphatic words. But I really appreciate that the icebreaker speech, especially team collaboration. That's a great pathway to go on to. I'm on 3 pathways myself right now, and I'm looking forward to doing lots with each one of them. I don't have too many comments more to make. I think we've done a great job. You had good organization of the agenda and follow through of the agenda tonight. It's too bad we didn't have another speaker and another evaluator tonight, but that's the way sometimes it goes. And I'll turn control back over to our Toastmaster, Carolyn.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful evaluation that has been provided to us. And now I will turn the meeting over to our Vice President of Education,
who will just let you know that Wednesday night Pacific time is when you will be receiving an Easy Speak message from me, and I want everyone to respond and confirm or decline their role assignment, and I will be following up so that this little exchange that we will have will become easy. It will make the club easy and fun when we get this little automated interaction rolling. With that, I'm good. And so I would like to invite our president to come and converse with the takeaways.
Okay, great. And I'm going to give you one takeaway about the Easy Speak. So once we get the Easy Speak up and running and rolling and everybody putting in their own speeches and confirming their roles, then we can do more fun things. And some of the fun things that we have on the horizons is we want to do a TED Talk event. Oops, there's my alarm. We want to do a TED Talk event here at Leaders Worldwide. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't think that's ever been done before at a Toastmasters Club, hosting a TEDx event. But that's what we want to do. And we want to marry that with a philanthropic adventure as well, and try to raise enough funds to open an entire school, or maybe just a library or something if we fall short of the whole school, but the whole school in Pakistan, in rural Pakistan. And we'll partner with Talib bin Hamid and Rabia Zishan and creating those schools. So lots of fun things on the horizons. What we have coming up is we have our December 13th is our holiday party. That's in the afternoon session. And we're going to have a TEDx talker in Rosalind Khan, our DTM Rosalind Khan, will be talking about her experience as a TEDx speaker. So that will be lots of fun. And then we're going to do an add a tale where we're going to create a let me see if there was is that a chat that we're supposed to? Okay, great. And we're going to have an add a tale table topics where we're going to add to I keep getting distracted by the chat. Anyway, we're going to have a table topics where we add to each other. And then we're also going to be talking about having some readings from several different traditions. So put it in the WhatsApp, in our WhatsApp group for Leaders Worldwide WhatsApp group. We're going to have a discussion about what we want to add to our holiday party. We're going to be very inclusive and international. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's December 13th. And we have speech crafts every time. We have Toastmasters Leadership Institute coming up in January, and you'll probably be asked by Michelle Pedicolis if you want to be a trainer, because we have Train the Trainer coming up on December 4th. Great. So now's the time for our takeaways and chocolates. And I'd like to start with some of our guests. And Curtis, do we have some guests that we can call upon?
Yes, we do. So let's start at the top of the list. We have a guest, David Lascano.
Yes, David, thanks for coming.
Yes, you're
what
welcome.
are you taking away?
Yeah, so my takeaway today was actually meeting new people today at the Leadership Worldwide Club. And I'm happy to be here and meet new people, especially the guest speaker, because I wasn't, deciding to join, but I was like, let me check it out because we're having a open house this weekend on Saturday for my club. And I was like, let me learn from other clubs. So that way I can implement those successful strategies at my club. And so I'm excited, and maybe, I can even follow up with the guest speaker, maybe have them in the future be a guest speaker at our future open house. So thank you for allowing me to join, even though I joined last minute, but I'm here and I'm grateful that I did.
We're so glad to have you. And yeah, share our guest speakers and invite them to your open house. Now we have a tradition here that we share virtual chocolates. Would you like a virtual chocolate?
Sure, I like chocolate.
Here you go. Woo!
Thank you so much.
No sugar, no calories, won't keep you awake tonight.
Yes.
Thanks, David.
Yes, you're welcome.
And we also have Federica.
Federica, what are you taking away with you today?
I have lots. Good evening, good morning, good whatever it is at this time. It's nice to be here again. and I have lots of takeaway. Ubuntu, I am because you are. So I love this one, and I enjoy the table topics. What did they not teach you at school? It was thought-provoking for me. So there are lots of takeaways from that. And it's always a pleasure being at Leaders Worldwide, and I'll be back again. I want my
We
chocolate.
always love you to visit, Frederica. And would you like a virtual chocolate?
Oh, yes, you send it, Cynthia, right there.
Here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Okay.
Great.
Great. We have Judith Ferber.
Hey, Judith, what are you taking away with you today?
Well, I guess I am also taking away the Ubuntu, which was really, yeah, I mean, I always say that no matter what Toastmaster Club, I always learn something new, and I certainly did today. But I also have one suggestion, is not to use the chat when people are speaking. There has to be some sort of way, because it is so disturbing. I did this in my other clubs because it's hard to listen to when something pops up in your face all the time. So it's just an idea that maybe might be a good thing to do. But anyway, thank you for having me. I always love to come to your club.
Great, great. Good suggestion. And would you like a chocolate?
Of course. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate. Oh,
I know you have a collection of them. So
I do. I love the Belgian dark chocolate. Here it comes. 1, 2,
Okay.
3.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other guests?
Yes, we have Roger Swenson.
Roger, are you taking away something with you tonight?
Hello, you are talking about me?
Who's that?
This is Kadir Hussain from Pakistan.
Awesome. What are you taking away with you tonight?
Here is early morning. So
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Good, nice. Do you know, I become very happy to join your Zoom meeting. I love to be public speaker, so I hope that I will learn from you people a lot. You people are doing a great job. So how I will be public speaker? What do you think? How can I become a public speaker?
Speak, speak, speak. As often as you can, as much as you can, and especially if you are feeling afraid or anxious, speak. Knees knocking, lips quivering, speak.
So there's a little bit difficulties for me. I cannot face audience. I cannot face a large crowd. So how I will overcome like these difficulties?
Because of fear or anxiety?
Yes.
Yeah. So the best way to overcome fear is to breathe and then ground yourself by focusing on your feet and wiggling your toes. I had a friend that was a part of a scientific study, and they put her into a medical machine called a CT scan, and they took a picture of her brain, and then they showed her scary pictures, and they watched her brain change, and then they said wiggle your toes, and they watched her brain change back again. So breathe, focus on your feet, and wiggle your toes. That's my recommendation.
Okay. So I hope that I will learn from you people a lot.
Yes.
Please, if you have WhatsApp group, so please share the link. I would like to join. I would like to be in connection to you people.
Okay, the link. Okay, can someone get that for me, Kathleen? Can you go and get the link from our WhatsApp group for guests and post it in the chat? It's hard for me to do that when I'm managing the takeaways here. Can you do that for me, Kathleen? Oh,
I'll try to get it into, I think I might have to sign into the meeting by phone to do that.
no. You don't. Let's see. Can I can't do two things at once. So can somebody else, do they know how to do that? Hattie actually should. I just have, okay, I'll just go do it.
Yeah, I may be able to help you out, Cynthia. So you can continue
Okay,
with the
thank
guests.
you. It's in the WhatsApp group for guests. Are you a member there?
I'm pretty sure I am. I'll find it.
Okay, and then give them the link. Okay, Ketar, would you like some virtual chocolates before we go? Ketar?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Here. 1, 2, 3. Here it comes. Virtual chocolates. And did we have anyone else that wanted to share? Can we hear from somebody in the Speechcraft room? How did it go in the Speechcraft room?
Actually, we need to get those persons back here.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh, they're not back yet. Okay.
I'll
Oh,
send
it's
a
only
message.
7:41.
All right. So we also have Roger Swenson. You were about to
Okay.
speak.
You want to share your takeaway, Roger?
Yeah, so I like the meeting very much. I'll be back next meeting.
Okay, great. Would you like a virtual chocolate?
Yeah, okay.
Here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Okay.
Oops. Awesome. Anyone else like to share?
You know, Cynthia, I feel that both of our speakers were phenomenal. Both shared some really wonderful, down-to-earth information that we can use for any part of our life that we choose. It's so applicable. You know, it's amazing how we can brand and market to a company, but we can do some of those same things with the perception that was being shared earlier, so with our families. So thank you so much for both of the speakers. It was just awesome, awesome, awesome. And what do I like in terms of virtual chocolates? I want one pecan bud, which is chocolate with pecans and just a little dab of caramel in the middle to hold it together. And the second one is a milk walnut, which is just walnuts with some milk chocolate strewn over it that just melts so nice in the mouth.
You're a chocolatier.
Yes.
Love it. Here they come. Here's the walnut. Woo!
Thank
and
you.
The pecan. Yum! I'm gonna get some of those myself. They sound delicious. And by the way, Srivanti, this is the second time she's spoken here. She spoke during our Speechcraft as a plenary speaker, we were calling it back then, but a keynote speaker, because she was the district director in Cleveland at the time. So she was one of our 10 top female Toastmaster leaders that we had speaking at our Speechcraft. She's just amazing. Anyone else like to share? Does anyone have their hand up?
Yep, we have Roslyn with her hand raised.
Roslyn!
Well, I just want to give our heads off to our wonderful and fearless leader who's always turning up on to so many wonderful things, bringing so many amazing speakers out to us and just opening our doors into so many opportunities. And as you were talking, I put it in the chat in the WhatsApp, but I thought, wouldn't it be a cool idea if when we do the event for the school, I know there are many people in our group that are authors, that if each of us had a book that we might be able to donate to that school, when we, you know,
Oh, great.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, yes, and build up their library. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I
Maybe
just
we could do one big shipment so we don't have to pay an arm and a leg for shipping. That would be great because we have a lot of authors here.
Hey, Roslyn, you're speaking, but you're muted.
You know, me and my great ideas always get muted. So no, I just thought that would be a great thing. And maybe there's some way or somehow that we could do an author night or something like that, you know?
Oh, an author night. Like maybe a table topic event or?
I don't know. I just throw out the ideas and you play with it.
Okay, and put it in
throw
the
it out
chat
there.
and put it in our WhatsApp group too.
Okay, all right.
That would be great. We'll have some discussion back and forth.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you know, maybe for our holiday party, we could bring all our books too, just to show them off. Yeah.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
I believe in the spaghetti. Throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
You never know what goes ahead and sticks. Another group, I always like to throw out fun ideas. You can come and shut up whenever you had enough. They were bringing recipes in, and they were dressing up in their favorites, you know, outfits, you know, maybe of their country or their culture or something specifically that they do for the festivities. And maybe for the table topics, looking at the different cultures that we have represented, what if each person from that culture had a question of some cultural significance? Like in Sweden, I was there and up with people, and they have this stuff called glögg, and it's this tropical drink that they drink as part of their holidays, or something like that, of just kind of taking it and putting another twist on it. So I
Great,
will
and add them in our WhatsApp group. And was someone able to post our WhatsApp group for guests, the link in there? Did you find it?
I did not
find it. Okay, I can do it, but someone's got to take over for me. Kathleen, do you want to keep asking for
Sure.
takeaways for a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yes, certainly.
There is
And
no one thing.
I would like to ask, I would like
There
to
is no WhatsApp
I
group.
would like to ask the breakout group about your session. How did you experience, what did you take away from your session in the breakout group? Isaac?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that everyone gave great speeches. There was one speaker, and the evaluations were right on. And I just thought it was a great breakout. Like I told Michelle, she runs a very informative, educational breakout rooms.
Oh, thank
So
you, Michelle.
I thoroughly
Yes,
enjoyed
she
it.
does. She does a beautiful job. Thank you, Michelle. And Sally, I would like to ask you, how did you like your evaluation job? And
Sally, you're muted.
Unmute.
I got too speedy and started in the middle instead of the beginning. And so I'll have to redo it and get reoriented so that it was a bigger piece and equally segmented.
Well, as has been said today about becoming an excellent speaker, we just do it and do it again. And I would like to ask, do I see Nadine? Is Nadine with us? I'm sorry about that. I heard Nadine's speech. She passed it by me earlier today, and I found it very beautiful.
Okay, I'm back. So in the chat is the WhatsApp link to our guest WhatsApp group. Thank you, Kathleen. And would anyone like one last sharing before we go? Great meeting, great speakers, evaluators, table topics. I tell you, it was amazing.
Really good.
I want to give a shout out to Lexi, who just knocked it out of the park in terms of her table topics. She gave us really great subjects, and we got really great table topics speeches.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
splendid. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Excellent. And would you like a virtual chocolate, Michelle?
Always, always.
Always.
Dark,
Here you
please.
go.
Yes.
Oh, dark chocolate. Here he
Yeah.
comes.
Thank you.
Woo! And Lexi, would you like to share your experience?
Yes, I had a good experience in my breakout room. I'm working on a big speech right now, and Michelle gave an outstanding speech, how to start with the end and then go forward to the beginning. I've never heard anybody teach something like that. And it's good because sometimes you're working on a speech and then you don't have enough time to finish it. But it's kind of like my best friend. When we go out to eat, she always orders the dessert first. So that she always has enough room for that dessert. So that's why you give them the dessert first, and then you tell them what the rest of the speech is about going forward. I thought that was an excellent way of giving a speech, and I will definitely use it.
Excellent. Excellent. We hope that got recorded so we could watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Sounds
definitely.
wonderful.
That was a good teaching. Definitely.
Okay. Would you like a virtual chocolate?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Okay, here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, that's about it. I just had a great time tonight. Like I said, we did excellent speakers, and we had a little extended takeaways and chocolates, and an excellent table topic session. That was really wonderful. And we will see you next week. Yes, next week, the 22nd is this Thanksgiving week. And then we will have a break on the 29th because it's the 5th Monday of the month, and then back on December 6th. So have a good night, everybody. See you next week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Good night.
holiday.
Good night. Good night.
There you go.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Coach.
You're welcome.